Introducing deep learning and neural networks.
Here is the agenda for our video.
Deep learning refers to neural networks with multiple hidden layers that can learn to represent and classify complex data.
Deep learning models have achieved state-of-the-art performance in various fields, including image and speech recognition, natural language processing, and autonomous driving.
Deep learning requires large amounts of labeled data, powerful hardware, and careful optimization to train effective models. However, with the rise of big data and advances in computing, deep learning has become a powerful tool for solving real-world problems. The human brain is made up of billions of interconnected cells called neurons that process and transmit information.
Neurons receive inputs from other neurons through dendrites, and integrate them through their cell body. If the inputs exceed a certain threshold, the neuron generates an output signal through an axon that can be transmitted to other neurons through synaptic connections. This process allows the brain to process information and generate complex behaviors. Artificial neural networks are modeled after this structure, with each artificial neuron receiving inputs, integrating them, and generating an output signal that is transmitted to other neurons in the network. Artificial neural networks are made up of layers of artificial neurons that process and transmit information. The input layer receives the initial data, and the output layer produces the final prediction or decision.
The hidden layers between the input and output layers process and transform the information to generate the final output. Each artificial neuron in the network receives multiple inputs, which are multiplied by their corresponding weights and summed together. A bias term is added to the sum, and the result is passed through an activation function to generate the output of the neuron. By adjusting the weights and biases of the artificial neurons, the neural network learns to recognize patterns and make predictions. Neural networks simulate the function of neurons in the brain to process and transmit information. Each artificial neuron receives inputs, integrates them, generates an output signal, and transmits it to other neurons. This process allows the neural network to learn from data and make predictions. During training, the network is presented with input data and corresponding labels, and the output of the network is compared to the true labels using a loss function. An optimization algorithm is used to adjust the weights and biases of the artificial neurons to minimize the loss, allowing the network to make more accurate predictions over time. To train a neural network, we feed it input data and corresponding labels, compute the output of the network, and compare it to the true labels using a loss function.
We use an optimization algorithm to adjust the weights and biases of the neurons to minimize the loss, allowing the network to make more accurate predictions. We repeat this process for multiple epochs until the network can make accurate predictions on new data. There are various optimization algorithms, such as gradient descent, that can be used to adjust the weights and biases of the neurons. Deep learning has many practical applications, including image and speech recognition, natural language processing, and autonomous driving. In image recognition, deep learning models can be trained to recognize objects and people in images with high accuracy. In speech recognition, deep learning models can transcribe spoken words into text with high accuracy.
In natural language processing, deep learning models can be trained to understand and generate human-like language. In autonomous driving, deep learning models can be trained to recognize objects, predict their behavior, and navigate the vehicle safely. These are just a few examples of how deep learning can be used to solve real-world problems. This video marks the end of our machine learning intro series. By now you should have developed a basic and simple understanding of what machine learning is and how to get started with Python. Thank you so much for watching.